lesser known and B movies. Only two men can give it the justice they deserve. The Tragedy of Cinema proudly presents I Can't Believe That Was a Movie, starring Jimbo and legendary co-host Art Toast. All right, guys, welcome back to the Tragedy of Cinema podcast, the I Can't Believe That Was a Movie. I'm your host, Jimbo, and once again, I'm joined by...
Art Toast.
Art Toast, the legend himself. We are at Art Toast's lair, if you will, his dungeon. So, Dad, the way this goes is I pick a movie, you pick a movie. This is our third episode, and we let you pick this barn burner. Would you like to tell the audience what you picked and why?
Well, I picked for this week Plan 9 from Outer Space. There are several reasons why I picked this movie, because I cannot believe it's a movie. And at one time, years ago, they said that it was one of the worst movies ever made. But we'll talk about that as we go, because you're going to find out there's an awful lot of bad movies out there. Is that what the B stands for? Bad movies? Or what does B movie stand for?
Barnes Family Review? I don't know. All right, so, this was, it is probably one of the worst movies of all time, but guess what? It is like number 12 on the cult classic following.
It's better than the Mummy versus the Aztec Mummy versus the Robot.
Well, that's because that was the third one in the series.
Well, still, it was terrible.
Well, do we need to watch Plan 1 from outer space, 2 from outer space, 3 from outer space? No,
we're going to talk about this later. No, it ain't this one. It's something else.
This is why we can't do more than one at a time.
But as you get further and further along into this series, you'll find out that there are some B movies that aren't bad. They're just a lower grade, but they are still very good movies. And some of these here B bad movies is still a good watch, just for the fun of it. I mean, if you got time just for the fun of it, for a good laugh, just listen to this podcast.
Well, we'll have to see, because as you know, we were watching a little bit of this movie before we started recording, and right out of the gate, it does some stupid stuff, and you're like, what is going on? And why is this happening? Because this can't be happening right now if this is happening.
Now, hold on. We went and seen Godzilla times Kong, or whatever it was.
The New Empire.
The New Empire. And now, you answer me this question. When we seen that, Godzilla's sleeping in the Coliseum, and they wake him up to go fight some other creatures, and we demolished the Coliseum.
No, not all of it, because at the end of it, he goes back and lays back down.
Yeah, and they're in a stone out of place. All the build bridges that they've tore down are in place. Now, is that considered a B movie? I mean, it's hilarious, but some things it is what it is. So Plan 9.
I think he's just trying to
justify
your pick of
Well,
movie,
it was
right?
better than Plan 8 from Outer Space.
Well,
there wasn't
I think you've rattled on long enough.
Okay.
Go ahead and take it away with whatever you're going to do.
What am I going to do?
Well, you've done this before, right?
Okay. The release date was July 22nd, 1959. The director was Edward D. Wood Jr. The writer was Edward D. Wood Jr. The producer was Edward D. Wood Jr. The cinematographer was William C. Thompson. And the editor was, yes, Edward D. Wood Jr.
How much was the budget for this film, Dad?
$60,000. Well spent. The budget could have been a whole lot bigger, but and we'll get into that later. But they saved money by doing some things.
Yes, they
cut
did.
some corners. But now,
Storytelling may have been
but I hear you guys talk on your podcast and on ours that, they saved money. The Twilight Zone. Well, they've used the same set for several movies. That was the same building that was in this episode. And so Rod Serling had to conserve. He probably got some ideas from Edward D. Wood Jr. on how to conserve. Okay, the cast was Gregory Walcott, who played Jeff Trent. He was in Every Which Way But Loose in 1978. Mona McKinnon was in Mesa of the Lost Women in 1953. She played Paula Trent. Duke Moore was Lieutenant Harper, and he was in Night of the Ghouls in 1959, and that's one that we may have to watch one of these days and do a podcast on. I don't know if I've seen it, I may have, but I'm sure I won't believe that it's a movie. Tom Crean was Colonel Tom Edwards, played in a movie in 1932 called Ghost Valley. I've never heard of that, have you?
Nope.
Carl Anthony was Patrolman Larry. He was in The Sinister Urge in 1960. Paul Marco was in Night of the Ghouls in 1959. And Thor Johnson was in...
Tor, not Thor.
Tor. I've got Marvel on my mind. Tor Johnson, who played Inspector Daniel Clay, was in The Bride of the Monster in 1955.
Did you know he was a professional wrestler too?
No, I didn't.
Yep. In the
How many belts did he own?
Ed Wood movie,
Who?
the Ed Wood movie that stars Johnny Depp,
Yeah.
the part of his character is played by George the Animal Still.
Classic stuff right
Classic.
there. And of course we have Bela Lugosi. He's the ghoul man.
AKA Dracula looking. And he's best known for his Dracula, 1931. And then Tom Mason is the ghoul man with a cape over his face. And he was in Night of the Ghouls also in 1959. Do you know why?
I know why. You want to tell us?
Yes. Bela Lugosi was dead.
Right.
He died before this
But see,
movie
they
came
had
out.
so much money already invested in this thing.
But do you know that Bela Lugosi's parts, where he's standing outside Tor Johnson's house, he's like when he finds out his wife, he's grieving his wife. That wasn't even part of the script. Ed Wood had went around and made home movies just filming him, and he incorporated those of Bela Lugosi into the story. That's how weird this movie is.
I'd always heard that he had died in the production, but when you watch the movie, and I'm sure you will, is that you'll see Bela Lugosi as himself, and then in the middle and in the back, but in between all these shots, you see this man stalking around with the cape over his face and he's trying to cover up that wasn't Bela Lugosi. That makes sense?
Yep.
Okay.
So a little bit about the technical details of this movie. The runtime is a brisk 79 minutes. You'll be just as confused watching it as I was. The sound mix was mono and RCA recording. The color info was a black and white movie. Aspect ratio was 133 to 1 in negative ratio and 185 to 1 intended ratio. The laboratory was Pathé Laboratory USA Film Processing. Negative format was 35 millimeter, and the process was spherical. Some of the filming locations, if you will, they had, for the old man's house, was 15129 Lakeside Street in Silmar, Los Angeles, California. They have Pioneer Memorial Cemetery, 14451 Bledsoe Street, Silmar, Los Angeles, California. And I'm just going to name some of the other ones. This one scene was 8588 Sunset Boulevard, West Hollywood, Los Angeles, California. Was the exterior of Mocambo Club with Eartha Kitt on the marquee. She was who, Dad?
She sung, she's a singer.
Eartha Kitt, what's she most famous known for, that I would know her for?
Santa Baby?
Catwoman?
Oh,
Whatever, here we go.
no, the only one on Batman, Catwoman, I remember by name.
Julie Newmar?
No, Lee Merriweather.
That's the problem. There were so many of them. Michelle Pfeiffer. Yeah.
Well, now you're in.
Yeah. The scenes were shot for the exterior of the CBS Columbia Square Studios, the exterior of the NBC Studios, which has since been demolished, the exterior of ABC Studios next to the Santa Fe Railroad ticket office with its own large neon sign, the exterior of the Crescendo with June Christie on the marquee. Do you know who that was?
No.
I don't either. But it closed in 1964. They used some stock aerial footage from Washington, the District of Columbia, USA, West Hollywood, and Hollywood, California.
I know who Lou Christie was. You know who he was?
Who?
He was a singer, sung "Lightning Strikes Me Again." You never heard of that?
No. And don't
Go
do it
ahead.
again. I'm going to wish lightning would strike me dead.
Go ahead and say, "I can't believe that was a song."
I can't believe you sung this song on the podcast. So.
We'll bleep that out.
All right, Dad, go ahead and give us a quick synopsis of this movie without looking at the notes.
Basically, this movie is about aliens that come in a UFO, and what they're doing, it's a plan of theirs, and they're doing this to experiment to see if it would work, and they're bringing back dead people.
Don't shake the table.
And using these dead people to go around and kill the living. Does that sound about right to you?
Sounds about right to me.
You can make your own up whenever you watch
Anybody
it.
can make up any plot. It would probably fit this movie. So go ahead, Dad. Take it away. We'll let you do your whole spiel, notes, handwritten notes by my dad.
Well, that's why we watched a little bit of it. It's been a while, so I had to jar my memory. At the beginning of it, you see this man standing there like a newscaster, and he's explaining what is happening and about what's had taken place. And he's talking about these grave robbers from outer space. This is the aliens that are getting bodies out of the grave and using them, and they're killing people. And so we was talking about this a little bit. The opening scene comes up, and they're all at a gravesite. They're all just standing there. Bela Lugosi's wife has died, and he's wiping a few tears on his eye. The minister's standing there. Nobody's saying nothing. And over here laying down, taking it easy, is these two grave diggers, just laying there waiting for him. And so they leave the graveside, and then we're in this airplane. It's a very important part of this movie. And they're flying, and they're trying to get a hold of the tower to get permission to land and all this stuff. But all of a sudden, a bright light takes place, and the sort of shakes back and forth, and they said, looky there. And it's right out of Independence Day. There's a UFO outside their window, and it almost looks like a sombrero hat, but it's not. It looks like a flying saucer, but it just rocks back and forth, instead of spinning. And all of a sudden, the stewardess comes through the door. But actually, it's a curtain. That would be referenced. Keep that in mind. That'd be referenced again. Comes through there and said, "What's going on?" He said, "Take a look for yourself." And she said, "Well, that's out of this world or something." He said, "It's not of this world," or something like that. And so this UFO lands in this graveyard. And so the two grave diggers go over to start filling in the grave.
And this is where the first plot hole of this movie starts.
But it shows how their plan really worked. They're over there and they hear the noise in the bushes. And this woman walks out that is supposed to be in the casket that they're getting ready to throw it in.
Fill up, right? And so how does she get out of the casket behind them?
Well, that's the UFO people are a whole lot more intelligent.
Did they use
Then what we
the Star Trek beam me up?
Beam me to the woods.
Ease them over to behind the woods.
And she comes out and she looks like a vampire woman or something.
Who is she?
Vampira or
Vampira? Right. And can I just say that I think I have more skin between my teeth than her waist, because her waist is only, how would you say, it's the size of a...
It's probably special effects. I'm kidding. But she wiggles her fingers, and then all of a sudden you just hear screams coming out. And then we go to the home, and Bela Lugosi's coming out of the... Gosi is coming out of the house.
And it's Tor Johnson's house. This is stuff that Ed Wood just shot without this in mind, to remember this.
Well, I thought it looked pretty good.
Well,
it looked better than the crypt they put him in.
Which we'll get to that.
We'll get to that, too. And he comes out, and there's a pot of plants sitting there.
That his wife had planted.
Yeah, and so he picks one off, and he's going to go lay it on her grave. And then he walks off the scene, and all of a sudden you hear tires screeching, and he gets hit by a car.
And you're, oh.
Now everybody knows how Bela Lugosi dies. And so they go, and it switches back to the graveyard, and it's this picture of a tomb that you see people coming out of. It looks like when we was kids, if you could find a big old refrigerator box or washing machine box, cardboard, that's what it sort of looks like. And they just painted it up, and these three of them come walking out of that. And
the one lady asked, why is his wife buried over there and he's buried in a vault? And what does she say?
She said...
Or the guy says, it's something to do with family heritage or tradition or something like that. And I'm thinking to myself, what is going on?
And so they start to walk over there by the grave, and they see the two bodies of the grave diggers.
Now, let me ask you a question. Why didn't the aliens go ahead and convert them to grave diggers to be part of their...
They didn't meet their criteria.
They didn't look like a vampire? Is that what you said?
And so then we have the man and his wife, Jeff and Paula, in the movie. They're sitting there, and all of a sudden, a UFO. And if I remember, I wrote this down. I can't remember right now, but I wrote down the UFO they see there. It sort of looks like a cigar to me.
Tic Tac.
And so they see it, and the UFO starts knocking everybody down and all that. You could see it, and it shows the scene in the graveyard where there's the crosses that are made out of cardboard are flopping around a little bit. And so that's another cost-saving element in this movie. And when this inspector, he goes down there, that's where the crosses was seen shaking, and he gets attacked. And he dies, and they have the inspector's funeral. And then you see these 3 UFOs are flying, and they're all flopping around together. And so the army and military goes up and starts shooting at them and all that, and it's not having no effect on the UFOs at all. So they go up and they fly up to the mother saucer. See, this is getting more detail. It's more and more like Independence Day already, don't you think?
Well, if you say so.
Well, they go in there and they go into the command post, and again, the door opens. The door slides. It's the curtain. It's a curtain instead of a door. You know, you don't have the doors like that, you know, in the old Star Trek movies and things like that. It's just a curtain. classic stuff. Then
the head alien commander, right?
Yeah.
He asked him how it's going, and they said, "Well, we've already got 2." And he's like, "Well, let's do Plan 9." Plan 9.
Yeah. And so the pilot and his wife, they're back in a plane, and anyhow, Bela Lugosi is walking in the graveyard, and he goes toward the pilot's house. I think, was that when them other people was there with him?
Well, no, the guy is leaving to go somewhere, and his wife's going to be there like overnight by herself. Remember, and he says, "Well, I'll have so and so call you from the airplane or whatever to let you know." He said, "Hey, can you call my wife?" He's like, "Yeah, I'll have this guy call your wife." And he calls her, and she answers phone. She's like, "Yeah, I'm fine. I locked the back door and all that." And well, this time Bela Lugosi's already in there with his Dracula cape over his face, which is probably not Bela Lugosi at this point. It's probably the other guy, if I remember right, that his cape's over his face.
Yeah.
And she screams, and then she runs out of the house with not Bela Lugosi, but Bela Lugosi chasing after her.
And they go to the graveyard.
Mm-hmm. And Vampira's there, and Lugosi's there, and
the guy comes out of the grave there too, don't he? It shows the dirt and all that.
Yeah.
Because he follows her to when the farmer gets her.
Right. This is the part where it really bothers me because it goes from light to dark to light to dark in between shots of outside the time. So another budgetary cut. So now she's running through the woods or the cemetery, comes up to the road in daylight, and there's a farmer driving his car. And she, you all right?
Yeah.
And he picks her up, and he goes to start the car, and it starts sputtering. But he eventually gets it and takes off down the road, and Vampira and them turn around.
That stuff really happens. It happens in a lot of movies.
Oh, in movies, yeah.
No, it happens in real life. It happened to me and your mom and my brother and his wife at the Haunted Bridge years ago.
Do you want to tell the story?
I don't know if we got time.
Another episode, maybe.
Well, it happened. And this is like 1 o'clock in the morning.
Were you scared?
Your mom was, but that's another story. I'll tell that one of these days.
Okay, so take it away. So the farmer and her had just left. What happens next? Do you remember?
They go back to the saucer, don't they? No. Are we in the graveyard now?
They're walking away from the graveyard.
But the inspector climbs out of the grave there.
Right. But I think this is where the farmer and Mrs. Trent has told the police, and the police are going back to investigate into the graveyard.
Right.
What's happening.
And so the inspector and 2 of the police officers are at the graveyard.
Well, I don't think we should call this guy the inspector, because that's the guy that's dead. Let's call this guy the detective. That way we're not getting people confused.
Detective. Because the inspector's dead. And so, but they see that they look in the grave and he's gone. They said it looks like somebody dug out, and another one says no. If they pushed out, the dirt would be on the outside. It looks like it's caved in. One of the police officers go down to the grave, and they light a match to see whose grave it was, and it was the inspector. Right? Is that what you want me to call him?
Yes, the inspector was in the dead grave. Okay. See, this is why you can't pick a movie that has not a concise plot.
Well, you're not. It's for your entertainment.
Well, are you not entertained?
Have you not? Did you? How many movies do you see it go from light today back to light today, tonight, to dark? Huh?
Not many.
And so they go back to the flying saucer, the two ghouls, and they take them on the boat, and the inspector, which I
On
think
the boat.
what did I say?
You said you took them. They took them on the boat.
On the ship, boat ship. Are you listening to me? Quit laughing. They take him in there, and the inspector, which I think he's pretty good at, I think.
Probably the best one in the show.
Well, this gun that this lady's got on him to control him, it malfunctions or something. The inspector starts choking the spaceman, the head of all these aliens up there, and choking him. So the other alien says, "Throw your gun on the floor to break the spell," or something. They throw it down, and the big inspector passes out. And so...
But I don't know if that happens here because it flashes over to where, what's his name, Alan, goes to Washington to talk to the head of the military.
Yeah.
He's like, look, we've known about them for years. They're up there. We've shot them and stuff like that. And it's just really crazy. And then I think it goes back, and that's where the one guy tells the lady to go get the big guy, take your gun, and bring him here to the ship. But when she gets him and brings him in there, and he's like, "Hey, you need to turn off." Like, she's like, "I can't. It's just malfunctioning." And the commander of all of them's like, "Drop your gun. The force hitting the ground will disconnect the link or whatever." So this is just a bad movie all the way around.
Then we go back, and we talked about the military, and they're talking about it, and they know that it's going on. All of that there to me. With the military talk, it's filler. I want the excitement, light to dark action going on, but I know they have to tell the story, and so they go back to the pilot's house with the military, and they hear this noise, and I think when the policeman said, "Well, there's that funny smell," and here come Bela Lugosi coming toward them, and he runs back up there where all the military guys are. He follows him up there on this patio, and he gets close, and so the policeman starts shooting his gun, and I think Bela Lugosi hits him, knocks him down. One of the military guys starts shooting his gun, and it's having no effect on him. Then you see this from the back of the woods, a light, and then you see a beam comes down, and all of a sudden you see Bela Lugosi falls to the ground. And the policeman's okay. They get him up. And when they go over there, and of course the cape's covering everything, when they open him up, there's just bones there where that was...
A skeleton.
A skeleton. And so... then they go back through the graveyard. They find the open grave. And the
one policeman hops down there and says, "Hey, give me a match." And this is where they find out that it's...
No, I think this is when they're going back. They done that. They find the open grave. Because he's already got him, don't they? The girl out of the police car. He knocks the policeman out. The other ones went ahead, and he come back and he got the girl, I think.
It's been so long since I've watched it, honestly, but sure, it sounds good.
So anyhow, the inspector and the cop, they go looking for the dead inspector, lieutenant, whatever, that took the girl. And they go to look for them. They see a bright light in the background. Excuse me. And so... They follow the light, and they see the inspector carrying the girl, and the cop hits the big guy over the head with a limb, and it knocks him out, and he falls on the ground. Then they open the doors up, and the military man and the police officer, they go into there. And he pulls the gun on him, on the head of the ship, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you're looking at me like
Well,
I'm
you're
nuts.
telling the story. I'm entertained.
Who needs a movie? And so they're in the spaceship, and he pulls the gun on them, and then there's going to be a fight breaks out. And so between the inspector, the lieutenant, and the head spaceman, and they start falling into this machinery and stuff, and fire breaks out, smoke's coming up, and they fight around and around. And the other two military guys, they get the door open, and they said, "Quick, come out! The ship's on fire."
Now, how did the alien that's in charge of this operation, how did he get knocked out? Because he gets knocked out, and then the fire, and the girl's trying to wake him up. Do you remember? He just got knocked out?
Just because he pushed him in some stuff, and he punched him a couple of times, I believe. And so he's down on the ground, knocked out. She's screaming for him.
Arrows,
Yeah.
wake up.
And so they get out the door, and all of a sudden, I think the saucer starts flying again, don't it? But it's on fire.
Yeah.
Now, what's cool about this is for special, if you want to do some special effects, it almost to me looks like an old kitchen match that you strike and light up, and it's going up in the air. It's a little bit better than that, but not much. And so it goes out, flying over the city, and you can see it on fire, and it blows up. Yes?
Yes, correct.
And so it's the narrator that was on at the beginning, throughout the whole show, he makes a closing comment at the end about will they be back?
Or if you're driving home late at night, maybe you've passed one.
Maybe you passed one. And so when you watch this, watch it in the dark.
Or the light, because
Yeah, turn it on and off.
during the eclipse would have been perfect.
And then you could
Maybe there was an eclipse going on. That's why it went from light to dark to dark to light.
and then you can look at the one sitting next to you and wonder, is that who they really are? Or is it an alien? And so, well, I think that's pretty much the end of the show.
Okay, well, let me go over some trivia.
Oh, okay.
So you just see how good of a movie this really was. Are you ready? So this was funded by a Baptist church. Several members of the cast let themselves be baptized. Thank you for supporting us with baptized. The aliens obligingly fly by the ABC, CBS, and NBC buildings in Los Angeles. Bela Lugosi appears in footage shot just before his death, but with no script in mind. Ed Wood wrote the script to accommodate all the footage shot in a cemetery and outside Tor Johnson's house in the new production.
Now, he never speaks through the whole movie, does he?
Who?
Bela Lugosi.
No.
Of course, he gets ran over pretty close to the beginning.
Lugosi was doubled by Tom Mason, Wood's wife's chiropractor, who was significantly taller than Lugosi and played the part with a cape covering his face, which you see that several times throughout the movie. The film's original title was Grave Robbers from Outer Space, but supposedly the Baptist ministers who financed the picture objected to it, so Ed Wood changed it to Plan 9. This is named the worst film of all time in the book The Golden Turkey Awards.
We need to get that.
And as you can tell by my dad trying to recount the movie, just couldn't quite piece it together because it was all over the place. The scar wore by Tor Johnson had to be moved every day as it caused severe skin irritation. When Gregory Walcott read the script, he told Ed Wood Jr. that it was the worst script he had ever read, but he reluctantly signed on. The company was able to get police cars and uniforms through Tor Johnson's son, Carl Johnson, who was an officer in the San Fernando Police Department, who also makes an uncredited appearance in this film. Believe it or not, Bela Lugosi supplied his own costume. He wore one of the capes he used when portraying Dracula on stage. So when he was doing the theater Dracula work. While some have speculated the flying saucers were paper plates or hubcaps, they were really 1/48 scale flying saucers plastic model kits from toy manufacturer Paul Lindbergh. One was modified with a wooden block to represent the square base of the flying saucer, which lands in the graveyard. This film was shot in late 1956 and copyrighted in 1957. It took almost 3 years to find a distributor who would handle it. According to Vampira, she would put on her vampire makeup and costume at home and then take a bus to the Quality Studio soundstage where it sees her film. You know what we call that? Downtown Indianapolis at night. Copies of the original 35mm release prints are extremely rare. There were reportedly fewer than 20 release prints struck for the original release. As part of the distribution deal with the Distributors Corporation of America, producer J. Edward Reynolds had to pay for the release prints and advertising material. Contrary to popular belief, the detective who points his gun at himself several times did it deliberately. The actor wanted to see if Edward D. Wood Jr. would notice. He didn't, which is a funny part of the movie. He's like tipping his hat with it, tapping himself on the shoulder and stuff. One of the locations used for the silent footage shot with Bela Lugosi was the home of co-star Tor Johnson, which we had talked about. After an argument with Edward D. Wood Jr., veteran makeup man Harry Thomas insisted that his name not be used in the film's credits. His assistant, Tom Bartholomew, received sole credit. The cemetery used for filming is the Pioneer Memorial Cemetery in Sylmar, California. It still exists, although many of the gravestones were stolen or vandalized.
Well, I thought they was all cardboard.
Well, we get some of them. Some of them are. A final film of Bela Lugosi, who died before the film was finished. Although some saw the insertion of footage of the recently deceased Bela Lugosi in the film as exploitation, in his autobiography, Edward D. Wood Jr. saw it as a homage to the actor. In the last few years of his life, Lugosi had become a firm friend of the director. Molly Nurmi was paid $200 for her appearance in this film. She insisted that the character be mute as she didn't care for the dialogue. Joanna Lee, who played the female alien, disowned any involvement in the film in later years. Eros! The screenplay was written in less than 2 weeks, and boy, does it really show.
But even the actors, and I mentioned this to you earlier, it's just like me and you sitting here just reading the script. It's, with no, it's flat.
No acting? Is that what you're saying?
Right. And that's why it's a B movie.
The film opens with an introductory by the psychic Criswell. Greetings, my friends. We are interested in the future, for that is where you and I are going to spend the rest of our lives. At the time of filming, Criswell was the star of the KLAC Channel 13 television series Criswell Predicts. The introduction could be an allusion to the opening lines of his show, but no episodes of the television show are known to survive. Another phrase of the introduction, future events such as these will affect you in the future, was Criswell's signature line used in his newspapers and magazine columns. The scene where the military fires at the flying saucers is real military stock footage. This is ranked number 12 in Entertainment Weekly's top 50 cult films of all time. Number one, of course. Do you know what number one is?
Well, read that statistic again.
Ranked number 12 in Entertainment Weekly.
See?
In the top 50 cult movies of all times. Do you know what number one is?
Night of the Living Dead.
No, Rocky Horror Picture Show.
That ain't a movie.
Wow. Again, direct all your hate mail to Art Toast. And you can message me. I'll give you his address if you want to send these stuff. Before appearing in this movie, Tor Johnson had been a professional wrestler. He can be seen plying his trade when a television broadcast of a match is shown on the orphanage's new television in Angels in the Outfield. So if you want to watch that movie, you can see him wrestle. Criswell wrote all of his film's narration himself. He found the narration Edward D. Wood Jr. wrote too boring. The tombstones, in quotes, in the cemetery were styrofoam and cardboard props. A couple of times during the film, they could be seen bouncing or falling over when brushing by the passing actors. Yeah. For many years, many sources claim that Bela Lugosi died during production, which is what you had said,
That's
right?
what I have heard.
It has now been long known that Edward D. Jr. Shot random footage of Lugosi with no plot in mind. After Lugosi's death, Wood simply wrote a screenplay that could incorporate the existing footage. So he had foresight, if you will.
Criswell.
No.
But
Edward Wood Jr.
Now let me answer this question.
You're going to answer this question or ask this question?
I'm going to ask this question.
Okay.
And you're going to answer it. Okay, when he done that, this is just footage he just shot. Then he makes the movie.
Uh-huh.
Now, did any of his, because they used that in a movie,
relatives get royalties?
Did he get any money to his heirs or whatever, if there was any?
I think you need to go watch the Ed Wood movie with Johnny Depp, and then you get back with me on that, and you'll see some of the stuff. Because Bela Lugosi wasn't really raking in the dough back then.
I understand that.
Lyle Talbot, General Roberts, and Johnny Duncan, uncredited as a stretcher bearer, played iconic DC comic characters in the Batman and Robin serial film. Talbot played Commissioner James Gordon, and Duncan played Dick Grayson, a.k.a. Robin, the Boy Wonder. And you're talking about way back in the day when they played those serials. It's not the 1966 Batman. Tor Johnson's undead acting on Plan 9 inspired a very, very popular Halloween mask. Do you remember seeing the Halloween mask? No? Maybe you'll dress up like that on our live show. The makeup was supervised by the veteran freelance makeup artist Harry Thomas, who's uncredited. The previous year, he worked on the much more prestigious production Cecil B. DeMille's The Ten Commandments in 1956, which was the most expensive Hollywood production up to that point. To save money, as we talked about, the same shower curtain is used throughout the movie, including as a door to the alien cockpit to unveil the bomb, and once as to a shower curtain. And Dad, a 2023 remake is in development by Sholem Gelt of Scotty Gelt Productions. I don't know if it's still considered going on, but I think with our...
They always make...
But I'm just saying if this could be a really, really good movie if they do it right? Right,
but again, they only make sequels to great movies.
Or remakes. All right, Dad. Hit me with your review of this.
You want to hear my reviews?
I don't know, I guess.
Okay, I'm going to give you the good and the bad. It's cheesy.
Is that good or bad?
Depends on how much you like cheese. But it's cheesy. It's the set's bad with the crypt and the tombstones and stuff like that. The storyline is it bounces all over.
That is a big problem, I think.
You'll sit there wondering, well, is it day or is it night? And I thought the Inspector Ghoul was the best one of them, I think. The acting was bad. It sounded like you got a couple of guys picked him out off the street and said, "Here, read this while I video it." But I think that you need to watch it once just for laughs. If you want to just look at it like we do and just say, "Did you see that? Did you see that?" But anyhow, if anything else, to pay homage to Bela Lugosi, you need to watch it.
Even though he's only in probably 2 scenes of the movie, the rest is the other guy that looks hardly anything like him.
So if you watch Dracula and this, you've seen his first and last. You've seen his best and worst. However, I give this, just because of that, out of 10 stars, 8 point... no, I'm kidding. I give it 3 stars.
Out of 10?
Out of 10.
And what did you give the Robot versus the Aztec Mummy?
2, I think. And we'll be back to that too. This is better than that, my opinion. But that's my opinion. It's, at least you got a star even though he don't talk and is only in it. Anyhow, that's my.
Okay, so
What's your rate?
So I'll say this: I think it is probably Ed Wood's best movie that he's done. Have you seen a lot of the other ones like Victor and Victoria or whatever it is? I think that's the name of it. There's a bunch of different movies. And I've seen a couple, but I can't think of them at the moment. I like the premise of the movie.
Spell that.
IT. But I just don't think it connects. It's too jumbled. Bela Lugosi, obviously a horror icon from Universal all those years ago. It's sad to see what he became later in his life. If you've ever watched any documentaries or read any biographies on him, he really struggled there at the end. I thought the music was okay in it. You probably don't even remember there was music.
I was trying to keep up with the story, but listen to the music. Now, I believe, when he buried in his Dracula cake, I
believe so, yes.
I believe I've heard that. I read that.
I think Vampira did a good job in this. She was only in there a few moments. Same with Bella. I think the bald-headed ghoul, Tor Johnson, I think he did really good. But that scar he had on his face, they had to take that off and on very often because it was irritating his skin.
That's what they say. Maybe there's an old wrestling.
I watched this twice. Once in black and white, and there is a color version on Tubi.
Does it add anything?
Color.
So is it light and dark?
No, but it's not vibrant colors. It's just just kind of like a grayish colors. But I mean, you can see color, but it's kind of pastelish. So if I'm scaling this on a 1 to 10, what it could have been and what it ended up being is two different things. I think that I'm probably going to have to agree with you. Probably right around 3.5. If it would just make a little bit more, if he would have just concised it down just a little bit, took out some of the crazy stuff, maybe planned a little bit better of having light if they're in the graveyard at night when they're out, and not just showing another shot of Bela Lugosi just because you shot film of him and it's daytime. Done something like that, it probably would have got a higher score. But for me, it's a 3.5 out of 10.
So you liked it better than the
Mummy?
Mummy one?
Yeah. But it's not, I don't think it's as good as The Crawling Hand.
No, I don't either.
But since Dad picked this one, next time we record or we drop this out, I picked this great movie, The Blood Beast Terror from 1968. And yes, it stars Peter Cushing, Grand Moff Tarkin from Star Wars. And let me tell you something. It's head and shoulders better than this movie.
Well, you listen in, because we may have different opinions on this.
Do you want to give the people a synopsis of that one so they could be prepared for what it is?
No, they don't have to just watch it.
Oh, it's that good that you're just going to tell them to watch it?
Actually, well, I don't want to discourage the people.
Well, you already have
will be
by your review of this movie.
The one we just done is probably better than the one here.
Yeah, so
and there's a reason why I say that, and we'll get into that
if
later.
Any listeners are still here, we want to thank you for listening to me and my dad. When we get together, and Mom warned me before we started that he had just taken his medicine, so he may go a little off today. So I think I tried to really back in a couple times, but Dad's going to be Dad. What are you going to do? So. If you want to reach out to us, we are the Tragedy Cinema
Tell him
Podcast
he shouldn't talk about his
gmail.com. We are the Facebook group, the Tragedy Cinema Podcast. Well, with that being said, I think this episode's coming to a close, and that's a wrap.
And cut.